Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to Perceptions of the Dead 2, Episode 2. How's your Halloween, by the way? Hope you enjoyed it. Mine, well, I spent mine at work. 12 hours. Yeah, great. Well, it had an interesting event for us because apparently our store manager decided to basically give up on work. Yeah, letter of resignation and so on. Still, she needs to work for 3 more months anyway. Anywho, let's get to the game. It was morning by the time Marcus finally arrived, but there was no sign of the sun yet.
Oh, thank God.
Oh yeah, by the way, no webcam. Because honestly, I honestly feel like being under a blanket right now. And, well, that wouldn't look good.
Good hustle, brah.
I hate you.
That's just the bad vibes burning away. Oh, we should do this tomorrow.
I will kill you. Again. Oh, God dang it! The door is locked! If the girls got here safely, they could let us in.
I'll go find Jill.
Good call.
Owen winked out of sight with a soft pop.
Wait, could he have done that earlier? He could have made them pick us up. I hate him so much.
Honestly,
Preparations are made.
if I were a ghost, I would be doing exactly those things, like trolling people like that. Oh, you didn't know I could do that? I'll do just that right now. Anyway, the flickering light of the fire cast wild shadows over the room.
Evocavi for spiritum, vid intermicavi for spiritum, vid intermicavi for spiritum, vid intermicavi.
Music, man, I love this type of music. The words echoed oddly, as for the chamber were far less cluttered and small than it appeared.
Advocavi vos spiritum vidinter mihi 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 vos spiritum.
The echo. Amazing. This time the echo was violent and distorted, coming back with force.
Advocavi vos spiritum vidinter mihi.
Okay, that's not an echo. The air began to shake, and even the air seemed to move, listless with worry.
Advocavi vos spiritum vidinter mihi.
I honestly have no idea what that means, but that doesn't matter. Maybe silence and darkness, and then a voice she would never forget.
Why have you awoken me, bound one?
I'm here to wake you up, brah. Wake up, wake up.
Jill started to wake, Owen's eyes meeting her own.
Good morning, brah.
Owen, what did I tell you about waking me up?
Yeah, I know, but like, Marcus is outside, and he's just run a few kilometers short of a marathon, so I thought you'd want to let him in.
Marcus!
All at once, reality caught up to her and she drew herself up.
Marcus is alive! And you are too!
Technically no. But yes?
Kinda.
I'll go let him in.
I forgot you were there.
Ripley didn't reply, as she vanished into the shadows her own hair.
That feels weird, even for a ghost.
Bro, why is she allowed to watch you sleep all creepy from the corner, but I'm not? It's because I'm a boy, isn't it? That's called sexism, brah, and that's not cool.
Jill threw the blanket over Owen, passing through him to little effect.
Rude.
What time is it anyway?
Real early. It's still dark out.
I'm gonna regret getting up right now.
Early to rise and all that, brah.
Rising before the sun sure doesn't feel healthy.
I agree with that.
Well, we're pretty far north. If you waited for the sun, you'd miss most of the day.
Yeah.
Jill pulled on her jacket as she got out of the bed.
Let's go check on Marcus.
The chill burned her face as she left the room. She had noticed it as badly last night, not with everything coupled with her exhaustion, but the difference between the heated room and the spacious foyer was like heaven and hell.
Only perhaps reversed.
What was that?
Just thinking out loud.
Jill's breath fogged, and she froze mid-step.
It's so cold in here, it looks like I'm smoking. Look, I'm like a pothead.
Owen, you're dead.
Oh yeah, I guess it's just a haunting then. Spooky.
Jill stood still as she looked around, the air thickening with a misty cold. You know what? I wouldn't say it's natural to be like that. Jill's hand fell to her pocket. Her phone was faintly warm. The notification was gone as she pulled out her phone and launched the streaming app.
Good morning, gals and ghouls. We're here today with a very special broadcast. Our first real haunting since St. Hart. And I suppose most, if not all of you? And Owen.
Hi guys.
I mean, there were a couple of maybes here and there. And that thing I heard in the bathroom that one time you told me to avoid. So don't be weirded out or anything by me panning around and examining the room around me. Just looking for anything I can't see with my good old ghost sight. My 3-month-old ghost sight.
It looks super clear to me, brah.
Exactly. This fog or mist or whatever, it's a ghost fog or something. I'm not exactly an expert on this.
Wow, do you think we'll see a ghost?
We'll see one already.
I've always wanted to see a ghost.
Owen!
Yeah?
You are a ghost.
Oh.
Owen went silent, his eyes distant, contemplative. Jill hoped she hadn't snapped him out of whatever days let him persist. She needed the company right now. As quickly as the mist had come, it began to fade, accompanied by the voices only recently familiar.
So I was right. You could have poofed to her at any time.
Frankly, I'm more surprised he wasn't dragged behind the car. He may be a bit more impressive if he can...
Her words cut abruptly as she saw Jill and Owen walking towards them.
You didn't have to get up.
I wanted to see if Marcus was okay and ask what happened.
Oh, it's easy. I have no idea. When I found Owen, he was fine. Couldn't Owen have told you this?
Owen forgets that he's dead sometimes. I don't trust him to not leave anything out.
I forget to add sugar to the cookies one time, and all of a sudden I can't remember anything.
Like that. That's never happened with me.
It's not uncommon for low-power specters to mimic their former selves while being little above an animal in sentience. Though that would only raise more questions about how he managed to stay behind.
I'm super glad that Owen is a mystery and all, but could I ask if you guys saw this spoopy-doopy ghost mist?
Ghost mist?
Can't say that I have, though I suppose it does feel a little colder than normal. That's a sign of ghosts, right, Ripley?
It's a sign that you're scared. It's normal human biology.
Also, short sleeve. That might be also the cause over there.
Are there ghosts in this town like the bellhop said? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are they remotely powerful enough to manifest temperature changes? Probably not.
Oh.
If it's not obvious yet, I already have a solid theory as to the story behind Tyrone's vanishing act.
Oh? Well, do tell.
Small town, very poor. No real major businesses. It's a recipe for crime. Tyrone comes in here, bankrolling his trip with the money he makes. Probably did this excursion at a loss. Someone sees a guy with that kind of money and targets him. Maybe it's a simple mugging gone wrong. Maybe a kidnapping with no idea who to contact with the paranoid way Tyrone does these jobs. Point is, once Marcus has had a chance to rest, we should head to the police station and ask about any John Does.
Ripley left toward their rooms as the group stared after her agape.
No way. No way he is gone for 4 years and comes back fine, only to disappear in North Dakota.
Marcus said the words, but even Jill could tell he was uneasy with how simply the theory fit the narrative. Jill watched as Marcus followed after Ripley, following her into the room.
Owen, would you mind watching me while I sleep and waking me up if something happens?
Thought I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, normally you're not, but just for tonight, I kinda like the company.
Are you gonna get mad if I hum Weezer?
No, it's fine.
Jill looked to her phone, panning in a circle as she spoke.
Well, that's enough excitement for this morning. I'm going to sleep a bit more. I'll see you in the...
Holy crap! Jill nearly dropped the phone as she whirled to see what she had thought she had seen in it. A girl, young, in her teens, and same time, oh so clearly dead! The hallway behind her was empty. She knew to trust her ghost sight for such things, and the camera to see the real world around her. But there was no mist, no girl, nothing.
Yeah, Owen, sing me Buddy Holly.
Oh no, I am terrible at remembering words, but I can hum a mean tune. Da, 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 ba-na-na,
With that,
da-na-na,
Owen began to hum a melodic,
da-
for horrifically incorrect rendition of something, and Jill made her way back to her room. Huh. Jill woke to the smell of waffles.
I'm up.
Da, 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 something Buddy Holly. Blah, blah, something Mary Tyler Moore. Do, 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 do,
No idea what he's, let's say, singing.
You can stop now, Owen. It's breakfast.
When Jill stepped out of her room, she was more than surprised to find Marcus already ahead of her, walking towards the stairs. He called back as he noticed her exit.
Hey, morning.
How in all heck are you so perky?
Marcus doesn't need much sleep. Marcus is, as I have said before, an anomaly. Much like your friend.
Aw, do you consider me your friend, Jill?
Oh my gosh, Owen, yes, for the billionth time.
Aw, that gives me feels, brah.
The freak caught up to Marcus despite his eager pace.
I'm going to go and get some breakfast. Something smells good.
He must be making a lot if we're smelling it all the way up here.
What's this guy's name, anyway?
Jill turned to Ripley, for Ripley just kept glaring at Owen.
I didn't ask.
I kind of forgot to ask after everything and how tired I was. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. If I ask, it won't look weird for you two.
The group made their way down the stairs and through the foyer to a lobby from which the smell of food wafted.
Hello there. What's on the menu this morning?
Good morning. Holy shit. You have got to be Marcus Ruckert.
Marcus paused and looked back to girls who looked as confused as him.
The family resemblance is, well, geez, hard to believe to say the least. I'm a novice historian of a sort, and I've seen pictures of who I assume is your grandpa or great-grandpa, and I swear, you look like he walked straight out of the page.
Marcus seemed nonplussed by the comment, but Ripley eyed the man with narrowed eyes.
Before any of you get the wrong idea, I'm exactly the age I look. Unlike some of you freaks of nature, I'm not a gore, I am immortal.
Marcus then turned back to the hotelier and added,
In a hyperbolic sense.
I assumed that. Though we did have a vampire convention come through here when I was a kid, so I wouldn't immediately dismiss it. On the subject of breakfast, I hope you're all hungry because I drastically misjudged the amount of batter I would need. I've got about 30 waffles made. Oh, and funny thing about the waffle iron.
Only 30?
I must have originally got it from here and just kind of didn't notice thanks to inattentional blindness.
The hotelier flipped up a waffle which had a name scribed into it. Rookard.
Holy shit, they've literally got my name on them.
That's an awfully big coincidence.
I mean, the hotel used to be called Hotel Rookard after its owners. I mean, the previous owners. We've got placards to the Rookards tucked away in the basement from before the owners tried rebranding the place. Not that it helped. So, how many you want?
I'll take a square 24.
I'm not hungry.
I want 2 waffles, please.
Jill shot away an scorching glance for whether due to willful or bad ignorance he didn't notice.
I guess I'll just have the last 4.
The hotelier was quick to serve them all on a plate, and Jill tried not to watch Owen's attempt to eat the meal. Fortunately, the hotelier himself was far too enamored by the sight of Marcus to notice the attempts of the ghost to eat.
So, I have to ask. Are you here to learn more about your family history? I just find it very odd that you would show up and have no idea where you were.
Believe it. I barely even knew my father before he died, and my mother got pregnant after a one-night stand. I mean, I was lucky. She desperately wanted kids, and I wasn't a teenage pregnancy or anything. But my dad didn't know I existed until I was in my teens, and then I only met him twice. Point is, I'm only named Rookard because my mom thought it sounded like a strong name and wanted to give me something of my father's. I wouldn't have known about my family history without you expressly telling me. That and the waffles.
To punctuate the end of his story, Marcus dexterously shoveled 3 entire waffles into his face.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'd totally eat some waffles now. Damn!
I mean, not your story. I mean, honestly, it sounds perfectly plausible. I'm just shocked that you'd end up here on accident.
It certainly stretches coincidental plausibility.
Well, I don't know about you two gentlemen, but I promised your female companions a telling of the Rookard family history. I imagine you would have equal, if not more, interest than they, Mr. Rookard.
Marcus shrugged.
I don't like history, brah.
Ignore him. Go ahead.
Well, I'll summarize a fair portion of this town's history by telling you that we became really big during the boom of spiritualism in the 19th century. Somehow spiritualists one after another gathered here and people flocked to see them. Even after the movement lost steam, Misty Morning was already a big city. It didn't need tourism to maintain itself. It had businesses and a thriving economy. That's not to say it didn't wear its history on its sleeve. Though the popularity began to die down, people still came from near and far to meet the mediums and psychics that the town was famous for, well into the early 20th century. That's where the story starts to turn from historical and more towards myth. You see, the large number of spiritualists here, all constantly reaching out to the other side, calling to the dead. It is said that their actions drew an acutely large number of ghosts here. If you would believe the stories, they were as common as bugs or rats in a big city. And the more concentrated here, the more they called out to others of their own kind, until it said that the city began to succumb to the hauntings. Factories had catastrophic failings, businesses had misfortune beyond reason, and within a few short decades, it looked like the town had reached a critical point where its spiritualistic past was about to end any chance it had at a future.
Makes sense.
Jill looked Ripley incredulously. Makes sense? What makes sense? Did she know something Jill didn't? Not her! Well, Jill had questions.
I assume that's when the Rookards became involved?
Exactly. The Rookards were a prominent family in the town at the time. They had investments enough that if the town fell, they would be left paupers. So, it is said, they gathered the remaining spiritualists and all manner of arcane and eldritch texts and began work on something. Unfortunately, it's at this part that everything gets really hazy. They did something, a ritual of some sort. That much is in police records. Around half of the family killed themselves in that ritual.
Huh?
The other half began roaming around town like some Pinkerton Union breakers. After that, there's a lot of miscellaneous information I can direct you to, but one thing is clear. The ghost problem was gone.
Was it now?
What? Why? What did they do?
I don't really know. Something about the ritual cut sightings and happenings down to the rates of some place as mundane as Smallville.
Smallville isn't a real place. Also, what's a Pinkerton?
It's a historical reference. If you understood the Union Breaker part, then you understood enough.
Anyway, the damage was done, unfortunately, and the town has been slowly crumbling for the last century or so. We've got a city half the size of Detroit with the population of Podunk, Mississippi.
Jill started, as of all people. Marcus broke his silent eating with a question.
Were there anything different about the sightings after the ritual?
The Otter's eyebrows rose in shock, before his face turned to a knowing smile.
You know your stuff, don't you? Yeah, okay, this is gonna sound super weird, but after the whole Rookard family thing, we started getting sightings of extraterrestrials.
What? Like UFOs?
Nope, not UFOs, but extraterrestrials, ETs, greys, or really whites in our case. Tall, impossibly thin, huge eyes, and white as freshly fallen snow.
Uh-oh. The thing from before. You know, when we are driving. Jill cocked her eyebrow in confusion at this. It certainly made very little sense, but when she turned to Ripley, her confusion only grew. Egon's face, normally a dark brown, was pale. Jill didn't know that ghosts could flash.
Now, I haven't ever seen one myself, but the reports are strangely uniform.
The hotelier paused for a moment, walking to a backpack, before returning with a drawing. To be more accurate, it was a copy of an illustration from a book. The caption read, "Witnesses, illustration."
Yep, that's an alien. I got abducted once.
Thank you for all the information.
No worries. I know a lot more if you need to ask. I'm a novice historian, as I said, though really only for this town. Here's my number.
Jill took the proofread paper.
I do most of my real job here in this lobby. Feel free to come by if you want to talk, or call if you're around town. Or, if you'd like, I can come with you and play tour guide.
No, we'll be fine.
Plus, don't you have to stay here in case someone shows up?
The hotelier laughed, and then realized Jill had been remotely serious.
No one's gonna be staying here anytime soon.
Well, we'll think on it.
Thanks for the breakfast, dude.
Yeah, good cooking.
You didn't even touch yours.
Huh.
Jill could see that Owen was drifting towards an existential crisis.
Well, we gotta get going. Lots to do today.
See you later, man.
Peace, brah.
Ripley merely nodded as the band stepped outside.
Well, I suppose we should hit up the police station first, right?
I'll go with you and sneak past if we need to look at restricted materials. Jill, you should go and ask around town. Find shops. Ask if anyone has seen a creepy guy in a hood wandering around town. We might get lucky, and I'd like a second set of eyes looking around town for anything.
I don't really want to sound like a coward, but are you sure you want just me and Owen wandering around trying to find whatever kidnapped Tyrone? 'Cause I'll be honest, I came to him for help and somehow let myself kind of get roped into helping you find him.
Alright, I'll be honest. I prefer Owen in that form. Oh yeah, in that one. Exactly.
Point is, if I find whatever got him, exactly what makes you think I can do anything about it?
Ripley paused.
A fair point. I suppose it would be fine for you to stay with us, if you would rather. I would prefer we make short work of our search by splitting up, but I don't want to press upon you any undue danger.
You talk funny.
I'm old.
She's well spoken, brah.
Dude. I think he's starting to like me.
Yeah, that wasn't sarcasm, bruh. Ripley began to walk.
See you inside if I see you. Someone needs to rein in Ripley, though.
Marcus hurried after her.
Okay, I'm waiting for Jill.
Jill waited a moment as Marcus and Ripley left earshot, and then her phone was out.
Okay, here we go, gals and ghouls. Do we visit the police with Ripley and Marcus, or should I go look around town?
Ooh, choices. To be fair, let's risk it. Jill waved to the others and scuttled off back in the hotel.
And while they're doing that, let's go check Tyrone's room for clues.
She spoke to Owen, but he seemed distracted, looking away towards the wall as though it were more interesting than its simple design would indicate. Maybe it was a bad idea. She didn't bother trying to catch his attention again, instead choosing to march up the stairs to Tyrone's room.
Owen, can you go inside and check for clues?
Okie dokie.
Owen thumped against the door once, with all the force of a day's moth, and then seemed to slide right through it. Jill waited a moment, then idly turned to her phone.
Full bars?
I wonder what? Her thoughts did not last long before resolving to action as she began to tap furiously.
No, heavenly potatoes, I have internet!
Her fingers drummed to the screen to a tempo the music could comfortably follow.
Oh, come on, let me see that follower count. Oh, pretty respectable, for as little as I get to post. What about...
Jill's words trailed off into silence as she navigated to another page.
Kiki. Look at that follower count. She's like a Katamari ball of streamers. I will catch you one day, you. Yeah. No, phone, no.
Abruptly, her screen bled to the all too familiar internet connectivity problems page.
Hey Jill, no clues.
Really? Nothing? What was in there? Did you forget what you were doing when you went in there?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, phase back through and pop that lock so I can get in.
Oh, good idea.
With that, Owen back in the woods, and a moment later, with an appropriately eerie creak, the door swung open.
You ghosts really stick to your stick, don't ya?
Jill reached into her back pocket and pulled out a pair of plastic gloves.
Let's tear this place apart.
She's prepared, isn't she?
Are you kidding me? That guy travels stupidly light.
Technically, it's the best way to travel. Light.
What a wasted 30 seconds.
Got this nifty game thingy. I can't wait to see what you can do with 2 game screens at once.
Put that back.
Aww.
Come on, if we hurry, we can visit the police station with them.
But I want to be an elite beat agent.
Now the group spoke as they piled into the Marcus car. The police station, or perhaps sheriff's office, was close, and they were there before any conversation really had a chance to get rolling. As they piled out, Jill's phone buzzed in her hand. An unfamiliar number was on the screen.
Guys, head in. I'll be right there.
Roger that! Scream if something terrible happens.
Oh, thank you. That's so comforting. Hello? Tortellini sandwiches! That was loud! Hello? Anyone?
The static came back constant, with no reply.
Whoever this is, the connection is very bad. Call me back if this is an emergency. Otherwise, bye-bye.
She angrily jammed the ankle button, her ears still ringing. She followed the pocketing of her phone with a deep breath and thumped at her ear. She knew she would never be able to tell if there was damage to her hearing by touch, but somehow touching the offended appendage gave her a sense of relief. Then, with a long sigh, the tension leaving her shoulders, she stepped inside.
I know we haven't brought in someone like that. I suppose you could speak with the coroner. There was a body a few days back. I never saw it. The coroner is in today, though. doing an autopsy on some old fellow who had a heart attack at 1,000,000 years old. But the wife was worried about foul play, but she's crazy. But hey, he was free. Might as well, you know. He's downstairs.
The policeman turned back to his
Really?
book.
We can just go downstairs?
You really haven't ever lived in a small town, have you?
I haven't either.
If you screw with anything, I'll just shoot you.
The officer looked up to Wink and gave a warm smile as the group walked towards the stairs.
So did you already talk to him?
It's a quiet town. He summarized the entire month before you came in the door. If we're gonna have any luck, it'll be with the coroner and the John Doe.
Bad luck, you mean? Hoping this turns up a dead end.
Yes,
Cool. Let's go meet him, I guess.
let Marcus do the talking.
Wait, why me?
Who's there? Oh, hello. You don't look like officers.
We're not. We're hoping to not identify your John Doe from the other day.
Sorry?
Our friend is missing, and we are hoping to rule out the body you saw the other day as his victim.
Well, I'm afraid they aren't here anymore.
Huh?
Nothing about the deceased made me think it was anything other than what it appeared. A kid exploring an abandoned building hit their head when they fell through a weakened floor. No evidence of foul play, just bad choices by a young kid.
Describe them?
The coroner was staring at the covered sheet of dead man he had been examining before the arrival.
Late teens, early 20s, young, well-kempt, blonde.
Doesn't sound like our Tyrone. Well, just to be sure he didn't dye his hair or something, was the kid black?
No, he was white.
Not Tyrone.
Well, I'm glad for you, though I am still worried for the boy's family. He's not local.
What are the chances they'd get two mysterious out-of-towners?
Tyrone? I think I may have met your friend. It must have been almost a month ago. We hit it off at a bar. I started talking about a book series I swear I had thought I was the only real human to have read. And I got a little too excited and drank too much. My most vivid memories of that night are him practically carrying me home. Haven't seen him since, though.
Could you describe him more?
Well, he had these ridiculous violet eyes. Never met someone with violet eyes before.
Yeah, that's Tyrone. Did he tell you anything about why he was in town?
He said he was a professional paranormal researcher. I immediately assumed he was one of those ghost chasers, but talking to him for a few minutes about it quickly changed my mind. That was before we started talking books. But yeah, good to see some real research done in the field. It would be nice if we could separate fact from fiction on these things. Death is already painful enough without myths about possible persistence warping our perception of it. Sorry, not only am I oversharing, but now I'm spouting about my beliefs. Not terribly professional.
No harm done. We're not exactly here in a professional capacity either. Hey, if you hear from Tyrone again, or if you see anything weird, call us.
Marcus held out a business card.
Are you paranormal investigators too?
Yeah, but we're more of the trashy ghost chasers kind.
Jill shrugged as Ripley shot her glare.
Pays the bills on the real research, you know?
I can appreciate that. It's for a similar reason that I'm here, I suppose.
The coroner looked at the card and cocked an eyebrow.
Software designer.
That is what pays the bills when the other two fall through.
The coroner let out a small laugh.
Yeah, I can really appreciate that. I will do so. Good luck finding your friend, you three.
Thanks, man.
Let's go.
As the three climbed the stairs, Jill heard a whisper in her ear.
Girl, where is your ghost?
First of all, Owen is not my ghost. Second, I have absolutely no idea.
The question was soon answered as the three reached the top of the stairs and saw Owen chatting with the officer on
And
duty.
they didn't arrest you.
Nah, brah. Dude wasn't even sure what to charge us with, let alone if he could.
That's just... Oh man, I can't even imagine where to start myself. I mean, I guess the only property you damaged was your own.
Owen, there you are.
Hey, Bros. How was the, spooky basement?
The basement isn't spooky, man. Come on.
Nah, brah, all morgues are spooky. Too spooky for me, at least.
Hard to imagine a guy who did that is scared of dead bodies.
Ain't the bodies I'm afraid of, brah.
We were wondering where you went.
Brah. Come on, we have been friends for like years or maybe months. You should know by now. I don't do morgues.
Please, think to warn us next time. We'll leave a sitter.
Marcus had already walked past them into the cold air outside.
What's up with him?
He doesn't do morgues very well either. Something to do with his father.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. My uncle is the same. Well, yous have a safe stay. Good luck finding ghosts.
Can do.
What did you tell him?
Oh no, man, just the basics.
What do you mean by basics? The trio exited, finding Marcus breathing enormous plumes of hot misty breath into the sky.
Well, that was a useless stop.
Not completely.
We know he was here, and we know he was seen as recently as a few weeks ago. That's not much.
Hey, we know there's not a body. That's good.
And our gracious welcome committee tells us this place is actually haunted. Haunted enough to draw a null.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've had a chance to ask about that thing. Or at least, more about it. And I have questions.
They're like super dangerous ghost-eating monsters that are drawn to powerful spirits like sharks to blood. There's not really much more to say. No one knows exactly what they are. Well, I mean, none of us know. But like, who knows, man? The world is big.
Okay, and well, while we're on the subject of this stuff, what are ghosts exactly?
Dead people.
I mean, mechanically, scientifically. Why is Owen over there and not, say, my great-grandma?
That is a question not easily answered. So, first, you must make two conceits. One is that humans exhibit, with whatever terminology you may choose to describe it, a psychic impact on the world around them. You perceive, and are therefore perceived.
Okay, that's just describing normal interaction. What do you mean by psychic?
I mean that there's more to simple perception than most are aware. I mean to say, there are connections and influences one cannot easily perceive. I'm saying that there is a metaphysical gravity in your very existence. It's that feeling when you know someone is watching you. It's when someone you're close to draws close and you know long before they announce their presence. I chose the term psychic, but it might be the soul, the grace of God, or Kai, or Chi. Hell, it may be magical power or mana. But it is there, and you have to simply accept that before I move further.
Makes sense. Go on.
Traumatic deaths leave a psychic impression on the world. These are ghosts. Are they still the original person, or an echo? Who knows? That's it.
That explains a lot. Now for some questions. Why are you particularly indistinguishable from a human while most people don't even notice Owen?
Firstly, I am not. I have no physicality without effort, but my psychic imprint isn't far off from a human's. Anyone who looks at me will see me. Owen, on the other hand, has such a weak psychic imprint that only those who are particularly sensitive to such things can see him. Now, before I go any further, I want to make another thing clear. None of the things I am telling you are facts. These are closer to theories, and not even scientific community theories, but more simply my own, developed over time. And there are many exceptions. Like Owen's conversation with that officer. Or Marcus.
Hey, what'd I do?
To be honest, I don't know the how, the why, not the real reason. Not even for myself.
Okay, what about vampires and aliens?
I don't think so, and I have no idea. Probably not. At least not locally.
Don't get her started. She loves talking about aliens.
So what exactly are acolytes? You've used that term once or twice.
It's just a net term for those who pursue the Eldritch. They may be as simple as researchers, or as in the thick of it as the missing Tyrone.
Good talk, guys. Can we squeeze in the car and go looking around town in something with heat?
Yes, sorry.
A moment later, they were in the car as the light snow began to fall more heavily.
So Jill, what about you? What's your story?
Jill took the opportunity to wrap up in her scarf.
You didn't actually tell me your stories. You just told me about ghosts.
That is my story.
I know Tyrone from when we were kids. Best friends. We got way into Lovecraft and D&D in college, and he and I moved into his parents' old house after graduation while we looked for jobs. I ended up making software stuff of various flavors that make vanilla look appealing, and he fell off the map for 4 years before coming back with 2 ghost girls in tow to tell me he was a real-life Winston Zedmore. Just for the record, he used Winston, not me. I think he's more of a Peter Venkman.
I died a few hundred years ago while working on the Central Pacific. Your turn.
Wait, you died working on the railroad?
All the livelong day. I really don't have much to say about the interim. Lots of persisting.
Well, I'm a streamer. I was, livably famous, I suppose. As in, I made enough to make ends meet, but not like Pony Hammer or something.
Who?
I hate Pony Hammer.
If he hates Pony Hammer, I hate her as well. Him, her, it?
Anyway, I was doing a Halloween live stream and got my veil or something ripped away by some ghost in St. Heart.
I'm familiar with the place.
Owen started haunting me, and my phone, to a lesser extent, and then he told me I could get help from Tyrone. You kinda know the rest from there. You think maybe we should go back? The snow is really starting to come down.
I can barely see where I'm driving.
You take the car back to the hotel. I'm gonna go look around town.
Marcus stopped at the light, and Ripley was out in a heartbeat of silence following her few words.
Come on! Didn't even give me a chance to argue.
So, you like her, huh?
What? No!
No, bro, don't lie. It's obvious.
Look, I'm sorry about the necrophilia comments earlier.
No, just... Nope, we're not talking about this right now. I'll go back to the hotel. You should follow her and go clue hunting or whatever. Here's my number. Call me to pick you up or something happens.
Jill cocked an eyebrow as the light changed and Marcus just stared at her in the rear view.
Okay.
She snatched the card and stepped out of the car, Owen choosing to simply face through the trunk. And then Marcus left, his orange jalopy clunking away into the obscure curtains of the snowdrift.